Yo, what's going on, guys? This is Jonathan. Today I'm going to be bringing you a video that I've been wanting to make for a really long time. This is going to be a video about what you should know in IT, information technology, before you join the 3DO kind of career field in the Air Force. Or even, this video can be in general IT type of stuff, but my knowledge specifically is through the Air Force and IT that I've done for the Air Force. This stuff does translate over to the civilian side of things, and so we're going to talk about that a little bit later. So one of the first tips that I would give is just use a computer. If you're not familiar with computers, if you're going to join and you're just like, dang, I'm just not really familiar with computers and stuff like that, don't overthink it. All you have to do is just get on the computer. Just use the computer. Just navigate through the file explorer. Learn how directories are set up. Learn what the C drive is. Right-click something and go to the properties and just look around. Maybe like YouTube something, just like basic Windows operating system or whatever the case may be. It doesn't even have to be Windows, but Windows is like one of the primary things that the Air Force uses. But you just have to get comfortable using a computer. The way that they're designed, the way that they're set up is they try to make it extremely user-friendly, and most of the stuff that you're going to be doing, it depends on your job. If you're a programmer, not so much, but most of the stuff you're going to be doing is through a GUI, which stands for something user interface. I don't even know what, I think guided user interface, I don't know. A GUI is just something you can use a mouse with. Like this right here is a GUI because I can see it, and I can use a mouse and a keyboard to navigate it. Something that wouldn't be a GUI would be like a terminal or a command line where you're typing commands to use the computer pretty much. So with this here, right, like where you can use a mouse and a keyboard, you can pretty much do anything. And I know if you have never used a computer before, it probably looks intimidating, but good news is the Air Force literally will train you as if you don't know anything. Because once you get to tech school, depending on what your job is, for my case, we go to Dolan Hall. And the first classes, like the first 2 weeks or first month or whatever, is computer basics. You're going to learn about computers. You're going to learn about computer components, like the things that are actually inside the tower, whether it's the power supply, the graphics card, the processor, whatever the case is. You're going to learn about how computers work. You're going to learn about all types of stuff like that. So they teach from the ground up. After that, you're going to go into a little bit more in-depth into your specific career field, but they teach you as if you don't know anything before. If you were gonna go in and they were expecting you to have previous knowledge, then you would know that already. Your recruiter would have said, okay, well, do you know about this? And if you don't know about this, then this job isn't for you. And maybe your recruiter is, well, and he said that, but that's not really what they're supposed to say. Like, you shouldn't have to know something to join the Air Force, pretty much. Like, that's what training is for. Your first year in the military is pretty much strictly training, if not longer. Like, if you have an 8-month tech school or a 2-year tech school or some crazy nonsense like that, it's pretty much for training. They need to make sure that you know how to do the job. That is their responsibility, is to make sure that you know how to do the job. And so until you're in the military, until you make it through basic training, the only thing you should be worried about is making it through basic training. Now, I've told other people this before. Study a little bit about Sec Plus before you leave for the military. So if you have some computer basic knowledge and you understand viruses and Trojans and worms and all types of stuff like that, then I definitely would recommend you take a look at a Sec Plus book or anything related to computer security at all, just so you have a general idea of what you're getting into for cyber ops, because that's like the main thing that we study in tech school, and that is the one test that we have to pass. And it's the same thing for cybersecurity. It's the same thing for client systems, I think. Actually, I don't know if they need Sec Plus, I'm not sure, but I know that cybersecurity does, and computer programmers do not. They do not need Sec Plus, so you don't have to worry about that. You do have to worry about the EDPT, I think it is, or the ED or the EPDT or something like that, which is like a test you take at MEPS. I've never taken it. I don't know what's on it. You're gonna have to ask a programmer about that. Maybe I'll make a video about it if I do get some information about it, but I'm not sure what it is. But it's not even close to Sec Plus, because Sec Plus is a super hard test. It's like a CompTIA certification. But at the end of the day, like, again, they teach you as if you don't know anything. So if you really want to get into the IT career field and you really want to learn about technology and computers and you really want to be close to that, don't stress about not knowing what you're doing. All you have to do is be a good studier, like be a good student. That's what I'm trying to say. Be a good student. If you can be a good student, you can get educated about something and you have efficient study skills and you can apply them in your everyday life, you will have no problem getting on a computer and understanding what's going on. It's really not that hard. It's really not that hard. It looks intimidating, but it's really not that hard. So obviously that tip was pretty long. Obviously this isn't like super organized or anything like that, but if you already have computer basic understanding or you just learned it, what I just talked about, before you go to BMT and stuff, and again, this is specifically for cyber ops because I've never done any other career field in the military, but we are server maintainers. And so the second tip I would say is learn about servers. Learn how servers run, learn what a server is, learn everything you can about servers, web servers, application servers, whatever the case is. And then also learn about VMs, virtual machines, which is basically a computer inside of a computer. So like if you opened a window and there was a computer, that's the easiest way that I can explain it. Definitely go check that stuff out. But cyber ops is pretty much, it depends where you are. Again, the Air Force and IT are very weird because you can go in to do server maintenance, you can go in as cyber ops, or you can go in as cybersecurity and end up doing a completely different job when you get to your base. You can get pulled, like I got pulled to work with programmers. I was a server maintainer and then I got pulled to work with programmers. I'm not saying that you're gonna get pulled to go be a cop. It is a possibility. I know somebody who got pulled to be a cop like right when they got to this base, and they were a cop for like a year or two, and now they're back being a programmer, but they needed cops at that time, and so that's what they had to do. It doesn't happen that often, but there is a possibility. Just want to put that out there. It isn't something you should be super scared of when you're joining the military because like I said, the chances are so low, but the possibility is definitely there. So you have to be wary about what you're learning. And again, like just kind of know the basics because they're going to tell you specifically what you need to learn. And especially right now when the Air Force is making changes to the IT kind of world that they've created, with career field transitioning and career field changes, like who knows what we're going to be doing in a year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years. I'm not going to stay around to see it, but you guys are going to stay around to see it. So be wary of that. But again, it's still going to be IT related, so you're still going to have to know fundamentals and stuff like that. I just know that it's not going to be as specific as cyber ops, server maintenance. Like you're not specifically going to be doing that job. Like they were talking about going to mission defense teams, which is going to be a lot more like ethical hacking and stuff like that. So if anything, you're going to need to know more to do those jobs. So just be wary of that. My third tip, and this is probably the biggest one, don't get overwhelmed. I know so many people who are like, they just get anxious and weird about working on a literal computer. Like it is a computer. It's just a computer. It's just a piece of technology. Like just because you don't know how to do something, just because something went wrong, there's no reason to get overwhelmed. Like just grow up and just learn how to use the technology. It's right there. It's right in front of you. It's super easy to use. You have a mouse, you have a keyboard. Google is your best friend for anything in life, whether it's asking me a dumb question in my comments that you definitely could have Googled, or whether it's how do you delete a file. Like Google is your best friend for everything in life. So I definitely recommend that if you have a question about IT or anything like that, somebody definitely has had the same question as you, so just Google it and you will 100% get an answer from some website that's gonna pop up, whether it's Reddit, whether it's Stack Overflow, or whatever the case is, there's gonna be answers somewhere. So don't get overwhelmed. There's no need to get overwhelmed by this stuff. It's super easy. I don't care how old you are. I don't care if you're 39 years old joining the Air Force or if you just graduated high school. Technology is there. It is the future, and it's definitely something that you should become educated about, especially if you're going to be pursuing a career field in there. So don't be a closed-minded person and don't get overwhelmed about it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching this video. I really hope that you enjoyed. Don't forget to leave your ship dates down below so that all of you can connect and kind of become friends before you leave for BMT. If you have any questions at all about what my favorite type of tacos are or anything IT related, feel free to leave it down below. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that like button because it really helps me out as a content creator. And thank you so much for watching again, and peace out.